Shabbat Shalom. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vayed, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vayed, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher bakar banu mechol ha'amim, V'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen. Bless the Lord, the Blessed One. Blessed is the Lord, the Blessed One, for all eternity. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has chosen us from all peoples and given us his Torah. Blessed are you, O Lord, giver of the Torah. Amen.
Parashah 51. Today you are standing, all of you, before Adonai your God, your heads, your tribes, your leaders, and your officers, all the men of Israel, along with your little ones, your wives, and your foreigners here with you in your camp, from the one who chops your wood to the one who draws your water. The purpose is that you should enter into the covenant of Adonai your God, and into his oath with Adonai your God, into his oath which Adonai your God is making with you today, so that he can establish you today for himself as a people, and so that for you he will be God, as he said to you and as he swore to your ancestors, to Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. But I am not making this covenant and this oath only with you. Rather, I am making it both with him who is standing here today with us before Adonai your God, and also with him who is not here with us today. For you know how we lived in the land of Egypt, and how we came directly through the nations you passed through. And you saw their detestable things and their idols of wood, stone, silver, and gold that they had with them. So let there not be among you a man, woman, family, or tribe whose heart turns away today from Adonai our God to go and serve the gods of those nations. Let there not be among you a root bearing such bitter poison and wormwood. If there is such a person, when he hears the words of this curse, he will bless himself secretly, saying to himself, I will be all right, even though I will stubbornly keep doing what I feel like doing, so that I, although dry, sinful, will be added to the watered, the righteous. But Adonai will not forgive him. Rather, the anger and jealousy of Adonai will blaze up against that person. Every curse written in this book will be upon him. Adonai will blot out his name from under heaven. Adonai will single him out from all the tribes of Israel to experience what is bad and all the curses of the covenant written in the book of the Torah. When the next generation, your children, who will grow up after you, and the foreigner who arrives from a distant land, see the plagues of that land and the diseases with which Adonai has made it sick, and that the whole land has become burning sulfur and salt, that isn't being sown or bearing crops or even producing grass, like the overthrow of Sodom, Amorah, Admah, and Zeboim, which Adonai overthrew in his furious anger. Then all the nations will ask, why did Adonai do this to this land? What is the meaning of such frenzied, furious anger? People will answer, it is because they abandoned the covenant of Adonai, the God of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them out of the land of Egypt. They went and served other gods, prostrating themselves before them, gods they had not known and which he had not assigned them. For this reason, the anger of Adonai blazed up against this land and brought up on it every curse written in this book. And Adonai, in anger, fury, and incensed with indignation, uprooted them from their land and threw them out into another land, as it is today. Things which are hidden belong to Adonai our God, but the things that have been revealed belong to us and our children forever, so that we can observe all the words of this Torah. When the time arrives that all these things have come upon you, both the blessing and the curse which I have presented to you, and you are there among the nations to which Adonai your God has driven you, then at last you will start thinking about what has happened to you, and you will return to Adonai your God and pay attention to what he has said, which will be exactly what I am ordering you to do today, you and your children, with all your heart and all your being. At that point, Adonai your God will reverse your exile and show you mercy. He will return and gather you from all the peoples to which Adonai your God scattered you. If one of yours was scattered to the far end of the sky, Adonai your God will gather you even from there. He will go there and get you. Adonai your God will bring you back into the land your ancestors possessed, and you will possess it. He will make you prosper there, and you will become even more numerous than your ancestors. Then Adonai your God will circumcise your hearts and the hearts of your children, so that you will love Adonai your God with all your heart and all your being, and thus you will live. Adonai your God will put all these curses on your enemies, on those who hated and persecuted you, but you will return and pay attention to what Adonai says and obey all his mitzvot, which I am giving you today. Then Adonai your God will give you more than enough in everything you set out to do. The fruit of your body, the fruit of your livestock, and the fruit of your land will all do well, for Adonai will once again rejoice to see you do well, just as he rejoiced in your ancestors. However, all this will happen only if you pay attention to what Adonai your God says, so that you obey his mitzvot and regulations which are written in this book of the Torah. If you turn to Adonai your God with all of your heart and all of your being, for this mitzvah which I am giving you today is not too hard for you. It is not beyond your reach. It isn't in the sky, so that you need to ask, who will go up into the sky for us, bring it to us, and make us hear it, so we can obey it. Likewise, it isn't beyond the sea, so that you need to ask, who will cross the sea for us, bring it to us, and make us hear it, so that we can obey it. On the contrary, the word is very close to you, in your mouth, even in your heart. Therefore, you can do it. Look, I am presenting you today with, on the one hand, life and good, and on the other, death and evil. In that I am ordering you today to love Adonai your God, to follow his ways, and to obey his mitzvot, regulations, and rulings. For if you do, you will live and increase your numbers, and Adonai your God will bless you in the land you are entering in order to take possession of it. But if your heart turns away, if you refuse to listen, if you are drawn away to prostrate yourself before other gods and serve them, I am announcing to you today that you will certainly perish. You will not live long in the land you are crossing the Yarden to enter and possess. Thank you. I call on heaven and earth to witness against you today that I have presented you with life and death, the blessing and the curse. Therefore, choose life so that you will live, you and your descendants, loving Adonai your God, paying attention to what he says and clinging to him, for that is the purpose of your life. On this depends the length of time you will live in the land Adonai swore he would give to your ancestors, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Parashah 52. Moshe went and spoke the following words to all of Israel. I am 120 years old today. I can't get around any longer. Moreover, Adonai has said to me, you will not cross this Yarden. Adonai your God, he will cross over ahead of you. He will destroy these nations ahead of you, and you will dispossess them. Yeshua, he will cross over ahead of you, as Adonai has said. Adonai will do to them what he did to Sihon and Og, the kingdoms of Amori, and to their land. He destroyed them. Adonai will defeat them ahead of you, and you are to do to them just as I have ordered you to do. Be strong. Be bold. Don't be afraid or frightened of them, for Adonai your God is going with you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you. Next, Moshe summoned Yeshua, and in the sight of all Israel, said to him, be strong, be bold, for you are going with this people into the land of Adonai, into the land Adonai swore to their ancestors he would give them. You will be the one causing them to inherit it. But Adonai, it is he who will go ahead of you. He will be with you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you, so don't be afraid or downhearted. Then Moshe wrote down this Torah and gave it to the Kohanim, the descendants of Levi, who carried the ark with the covenant of Adonai, and to all the leaders of Israel. Moshe gave them these orders. At the end of every 7 years, during the festival of Sukkot in the year of Shemitah, When all Israel have come to appear in the presence of Adonai at the place he will choose, you are to read this Torah before all Israel so that they can hear it. Assemble the people, the men, the women, the little ones, and the foreigners you have in your towns so that they can hear. Learn, fear Adonai your God, and take care to obey all the words of this Torah, and so that their children who have not known can hear and learn to fear Adonai your God. For as long as you live in this land, you are crossing the Jordan to possess. Adonai said to Moshe, the time is coming for you to die. Summon Yahshua and present yourself to the tent of meeting so that I can commission him. Moshe and Yahshua went and presented themselves to the tent of meeting. Adonai appeared in the tent in a column of cloud. The column of cloud stood above the entrance to the tent. Adonai said to Moshe, you are about to sleep with your ancestors, but this people will get up and offer themselves as prostitutes to the foreign gods of the land where they are going. When they are with those gods, they will abandon me and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then my anger will flare up and I will abandon them and hide my face from them. They will be devoured and many calamities and troubles will come upon them. Then they will ask, haven't these calamities come upon us because our God isn't here with us? But I will be hiding my face from them because of all the evil they will have done in turning to other gods. Therefore, write this song for yourself and teach it to the people of Israel. Have them learn it by heart so that this song can be a witness for me against the people of Israel. For when I have brought them into the land, I swore to their ancestors, flowing with milk and honey, and they have eaten their fill, grown fat, and turned to other gods, serving them and despising me, and broken my covenant. Then after many calamities and troubles have come upon them, this song will testify before them as a witness, because their descendants will still be reciting it and will not have forgotten it. For I know how they think even now, even before I have brought them into the land about which I swore. So Moshe wrote this song that same day and taught it to the people of Israel. Adonai also commissioned Yahshua, the son of Nun, with these words, be strong and full of courage, for you are to bring the people of Israel into the land about which I swore to them, and I will be with you. Moshe kept writing the words of this Torah in a book until he was done. When he had finished, Moshe gave these orders to the Leviim who carried the ark with the covenant of Adonai. Take this book of the Torah and put it next to the ark, with the covenant of Adonai your God, so that it can be there to witness against you. For I know how rebellious and stiff-necked you are. Here, even while I am still alive with you today, you have rebelled against Adonai. So how much more will you do after my death? Assemble for me all the leaders of your tribes and your officials, so that I can say these things in their hearing, calling heaven and earth to witness against them. Because I know that after my death you will become very corrupt and turn aside from the way that I have ordered you, and that disaster will come upon you in the Akhirat Hayamim, because you will do what Adonai sees as evil and provoke him by your deeds. Then Moshe spoke in the hearing of the whole assembly of Israel the words of this song from beginning to end.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chaya olam nata batukenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has given us a Torah of truth and has planted eternal life in our midst. Blessed are you, O Lord, giver of the Torah. Amen.
Amen.